Grand Rising. It is a beautiful day in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Atlanta today because I came here for a wonderful, wonderful event yesterday, the Day Out of Time. If you've been on my broadcast on Sunday, you've heard from Neb Taharka and Tahib, two beautiful souls who've been sharing with us about our galactic connection. And before I do anything, I want to just bring on this. We are activating our cosmic identity. And so today, my guest is going to share with us how the body is a church and a whole lot more. There's so much that we have missed, and we're so distracted. That's part of the problem, is we're so distracted these days that today we're going to focus a lot on not just the idea of the church, but we're going to focus on your connection to the galaxies. So let me just bring up this picture right here that shows you are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while. I thought this picture depicts it perfectly, what we are focusing on more today. You are the universe. You and I are the universe. We are the microcosm of the universe, expressing ourselves in this body as a human, but also on this earth, we can think of this body as a church. So that's where we're going today. And let's get busy. Blog Talk is up and running. So I want to start off this morning with a greeting of our female solution family all over the planet.
Let's Talk Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution radio show. We invite you to call in 515-605-9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network. Call 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
Yes, we want you to talk to us as well. Me, us, this galactic form, microcosm. I'm so excited because I spent most of the day yesterday with some amazing conscious people, and one of them is going to be my guest today, and she's going to tell you all about the 13 tones of our body that line up with our joints. I was so excited. She's been watching our joint rolling every Friday morning. So before we get into that, I am also a tiny house dweller. For those of you who are new, I just
You have reached the on-air.
And we're on air everywhere else as well. For those of you who want to call into our on-air network, you can. I don't have the number with me, but you can call into the on-air. Maybe Naima can put that in the comments because I have just lost all my notes for this show today. Because as you can see, I'm in a whole different environment in my sister's guest bedroom. But I'm excited about what I learned yesterday and the people I connected with yesterday. And that's why I love my tiny house living, because I can afford to travel more. I can afford to travel more. So thank you all for joining me this morning. And I want to just give you a little picture of the travels before we get into our joint rolling, which is so exciting. Now, the joint rolling has a whole new meaning for me now I'm going to share with you. But I want to just give you a little picture of where I've been the last 10 years. And these tiny houses that you'll see, I've been to all of them pretty much in my travels because I'm living tiny, because I'm a minimalist, because I'm not cluttering my house with things. I can travel and connect with some awesome people. So join me in the next minute or so in a journey through tiny house living that I have lived, that's brought me to this place of so much peace and joy and actual financial prosperity. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm not struggling either. I'm for the most part, I'm living on Social Security, and then money I make doing counseling and therapy sessions and all that. But I am just at peace because I don't have a lot to manage. So welcome to Viada's Tiny House Village, and of course I'm on YouTube, Viada's Tiny House Village. So here, take a look at the journey I've been on that has brought me so much peace and joy. hope that music has motivated you to get ready to roll these joints, because that's what we're going to next. But I've been on, I've had the privilege of renovating two sheds now in my life. One of them is in the picture with the blue. There was an ugly brown color, and then I changed it to a blue turquoise on the outside. And then I went inside, and it was just a really small space. It was smaller than my tiny house on wheels that I lived in for 5 years. So my house that I live in now in Florida is also a renovated shed that I live in now. What a learning experience. If you've never had it, do it, do it. Find a shed and just be your creative self. That's what we're all about here on planet Earth. We are manifesting the universe inside of us, and the universe is all about creation and creating things. So, whoa, what a journey I've been on. And then today, my guest is going to just take us to another level. But very quickly, what my guest pointed out yesterday in this gathering we were in, this amazing gathering, is that we have 13 joints in our body, okay? The neck, 2 shoulder joints, 2 elbow joints, 2 wrist joints, 2 knee joints, 2 ankle joints, and 2 hip joints, right? And those joints actually line up with the cosmos. She was talking, she was blowing my mind. And she was talking about the body as a church. And after I took all these notes and I said, you need to come on tomorrow and talk about this. So I sent her the link for the show, and we're going to invite her in a little later. But let me just read these 13 tones as you're rolling your joints. I want you to think about for the first time how we are connecting with the cosmos above us as we're rolling these joints around. We are aligning ourselves with the cosmos. Who would have thought? I had no idea. But the woman who introduced me to joint rolling several years ago, she may have known that, but she never expressed it to me. So I'm going to just read you what these 13 tones are so that you can kind of keep in mind as we're rolling joints what you're activating in your body that lines up with the cosmos above you. So number 1, magnetic tone, unify, purpose, and attract. We're going to roll this neck around, unify, have purpose, and attract. Who would have thought? Number 2, tone 2 is lunar, polarize, challenge, and stabilize. Tone 3 is electric, activate, service, bonding. Tone 4, self-existing, define, form, measure. Tone 5, overtone, empower, radiance, command. Tone 6, rhythmic, organize, equality, balance. Tone 7, resonate, channel, atonement, and inspire. Tone 8, galactic, harmonize, integrity, model, be a model of good things. Tone 9, solar, pulse, intention, realize. Tone 10, planetary, perfect manifestation, produce. Tone 11, spectral, dissolve, liberation, and release. Release, let go, let go. Tone 12, crystal, dedicate, cooperation, and universalize. Whoa, that's a big one. And then tone 13, cosmic, endure, presence, and transcend. All of those tones and actions and manifestations are in us. So guess what? During this crazy political season, I want you to think about something. When it comes time to vote, just go in the booth, write in your name as president. Just be the president of your own damn self, because these crazies, we don't want any part of that mess. I'm just backing. I'm trying to watch the show with popcorn, the political drama and clown show. And I just realized, okay, I'm the president. When you think about your connection to the cosmos with all these amazing 13 tones that are in your body, this human vessel, the church, it's 13 tones. So let's get busy. Let's activate right now your presidency. Let's do it. We are the president of our own self and of our own governing body. We don't need these clowns, okay? Because they're just like kids throwing mud at each other, back and forth, mud, mud, mud. Children, get out the way. Let the presidents arrive here in this body. Let's just manifest our own presidency, shall we? All right, so let's put on some great music that I always love. Time for Healing. Time for Healing by the Sounds of Blackness. This is how we become presidents. We heal all the past dramas, traumas, conflicts, and then we walk out with our heads high that we are the president of our own life. We don't need these clowns, okay? So that's my position. That's my belief. You don't have to accept it, but I'm just sharing today all my experience and knowledge that I've gained in the last days, 2 days even. So it's exciting, exciting. I'm so excited just to be on this planet, to share, to love, to make new friends, and to roll my joints, roll my tones, my 13 tones. So time for healing. Let's get busy. If you're new, we start with deep breath in, hold it, exhale. You can hold it for a count of 4. And though for those of you on air live, 727-731-5192, please mute your phone until you're ready to speak. Okay, I'm going to let anybody who wants to speak because we want to hear from you. But mute your phone so we don't hear any background noise and we can clearly hear the guest and all that's going on today. So thank you so much for being here. And let's do Time for Healing, the Sounds of Blackness. We're going to activate these tones, which is actually activating your alignment and connection to the cosmic energy above our heads, in our body, above us. Let's do it. And breathing in, remember, breathing in and out through your nose, belly breathing, not this chest up here, but belly breathing. Actually, your navel should be going in and out as you're breathing. So are you ready? Are you ready to activate your galactic tones this morning and rise above the chaos? All right, here we go. Time for healing. All right, rolling this head, chin to chest, rolling the head around. And I hope the music, someone told me yesterday that sometimes the music is a little too loud. So I'm going to turn it down a little bit more because you probably know this song already well. All right. So let's just focus on activating our galactic tones. First tone of magnitude. Unify your purpose. Rolling the head around. Ooh-wee. Boy, and if you feel any pain, just put your hand on there and slap it a little bit and keep rolling, or just pause. Don't keep going if the pain is intense or it gets worse. Just pause and breathe. All right, let's just keep rolling. All right, rolling slowly. Take your time. We're not in a hurry this morning. We really aren't. We want to be thorough and effective with activating these tones this morning. 13 galactic tones, starting with the neck. Time for healing. When we heal, we eliminate blockages to evolving and transforming and changing. All right. Next, joints of lunar, I believe. I may be going in the wrong order, but joints, shoulder joints. Let's just roll activating galactic tones. Shoulder joints. Breathing in, say I'm activating my galactic tones, connecting to the universe, aligning with the universe. And let's go the other direction. Oh, boy, and this releases so much tension in the back as well. We're all hurting deep down inside, but we're here to release, let go of the hurt, and heal. Time for healing. Now let's just for fun, we go swimming in the sea of energy. All this good energy. I hope you're in a great environment where you can just swim and absorb the energy around you. Peace and harmony. Just waves of peace and harmony flowing around you. All right, so we're going to get on our backs now and activate our ankle tones. Yes, and our wrist tones. 2 tones, yes. Activate. And I'm going to just pull these socks off because they are kind of warm. It was kind of cool yesterday. I need my toes to wiggle. Wiggling my toes, activating the wrist and the ankles. 2 more tones. So we're activating 3. We're at 3 tone activations now. All right. Feeling the love. Feeling the love. The love is flowing. Trying to understand that. All right. Rub your hands together. Give your knees a little massage. And roll those knee joints. Now remember, there's 3 reasons you're rolling joints: circulation, lymphatic, and muscle strengthening. And let's reverse that. Muscle strengthening. All right. All right, put your hands up, your arms up, and let's just get the elbows toned up. Yeah, tone activation, toning up, and synchronizing. We're synchronizing with the cosmic universe. And reverse that. Got to have healing. Swallow your pride. All right, now this is a challenge. We're going to roll over on our hip and roll this leg around and get that hip joint lubricated, strengthened, and lymph system flowing. This is tone number, let's see, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're on tone number 10, I believe. This is 10. Yeah, here we, and then let's reverse. Let's make sure we reverse. Get the full activation. And if you're in bed like me, it's okay. That's where we want to start our day, honoring this church. Remember, we're talking about the body as a church this morning. So let's flip over and get the other side. We got to be even here. Healing is our agenda, our intention, and strengthening. So we're rolling. Strengthening, healing, restoring. And let's reverse that. Reversing this. Healing, strengthening, restoring. All this good stuff. 13 tones. So we have now done 13 tones in our galactic microcosmic body here. Woohoo! So let's get on our back. Bring those knees to your chest. Rock side to side. Give your spinal cord a little massage, because the spine, guess what, is activating all the tones every day. When you move, a body in motion stays in motion. So we wanted to rub the hands and feet together, because that also stimulates your meridians to get the wiring system revved up for a beautiful day of motion and more motion. So, all right, let's hug. Now let's roll over to one side and push up And wow, that went fast. How are we doing? Let me know how you're doing in the comments or press one. Oh, I'm all out of shape here. Press one in the blog talk is working. Hallelujah. Blog talk is working. We've got our on air everywhere line is open 727-731-5192. Oh, let me open up the mic there. 727-731-5192. On air everywhere. We got listeners in the on air studio because we never know about Blog Talk. It just sometimes doesn't cooperate. So thank you all for joining me here. Now let's finish off our joint rolling with some um, vagus nerve stimulation. What is the vagus nerve? The vagus nerve runs in this galactic church. Let's call it a galactic church today. From the brain stem, the back of the neck, all the way down through the spinal cord. And it connects to, guess what, your microbiome. Microbiome is a trillion population army that's running the show, really. When you think about it, your body has been supplied with an army because the universe energy source, Yahweh, God knows that we needed some help down here, okay? Not just our little brain, our big brain, and not just our ego, but we needed help in the form of microbes. So your microbiome, which is mostly in your gut or your colon around your navel area, is full of microbes. So your vagus nerve is the pathway from the brain to the gut, they call it. Use your gut feeling that will help you make decisions, will guide you on this path if you have a healthy microbiome. Now, if you don't have a healthy microbiome, things might be a little confusing. You're not understanding who you are, where you are, what you're going to be doing. And even addictions are tied to an unhealthy microbiome. So, yeah, it's so important that we get this microbiome in order. But let's just finish off our joint rolling exercises, body stimulation with some vagus nerve stimulation. Rubbing the hands together, heat up the hands, get the energy flowing in the hands because that's the whole body. Place those hands on the back of the neck and squeeze and release, squeeze and release. If you find yourself in a stressful situation, this is one of the easiest tools to use, is just stimulate your vagus nerve, activate your vagus nerve to supply you with the energy you need to shift in a stressful situation. Like, it can work miraculously in seconds. I mean, you can feel it all the way down to your toes. Then you want to tap, 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 tap. Stop here at the joint here in your elbow and just slap that. If you have pain, just slap, slap, slap. That gets circulation moving and unblocks a lot of stuck energy. So just tap. And then here under your arm, the pit in there, if it's a poof, it needs to be stimulated. Tap and move that lymphatic clog out of the way, that blockage out of the way. Same thing on the other side. Tap that joint in the elbow on the arm. Again, we're activating our galactic tones this morning and making sure the body is getting the message of what? Love, the highest vibration. Right here in the middle of the chest, your thymus gland. Activate for a better immune system. This is a very important spot for that. Make sure you massage around the breast every night when you lay down, especially if you don't have another partner, a husband, partner, whatever. Just take your hands and gently massage around the breast. It'll do wonders for your emotions even, and just for the lymph systems in that area, so you don't get any unnecessary clogs. And just let go. Let go of any tensions from the day. Let go of any stress from the day, any conflicts from the day. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And then, of course, around your navel, tap, tap, tap around the navel. And in the back, remember, let me get the picture here. This is where your adrenal glands, your kidneys are. Kidneys need a little motivation sometimes to keep doing what they're doing. And the whole idea is to love on yourself more and more. That's the high vibration. Love, peace, joy. Those are the emotions that raise your vibration. And if you can express love in every situation you're in, even the most difficult ones, traffic jams, disappointments, expectations not being met, love, joy, peace, that will raise the vibration, the frequency in your galactic tone body and help you stay in good health and energy. So we're at the bottom of the hour. Time's moving fast these days. Let us go to a commercial break. And when we come back, I'm going to share a little bit more about these tones and a really nice website, a couple of websites where you can learn more about your galactic body tones. But let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is John Alexander.
And I'm Naima Latif. Meet people like you who are making a positive difference in the world.
Big difference.
Watch us every day on The Media Connection at www.youtube.com/The Media Connection TV.
YouTube it. We'll see you soon.
The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asada. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
Is Monday morning a struggle to get out of bed, into the swing of things? Well, don't worry, you are not alone. Join us for thought-provoking, stimulating, and mindful conversations on higher learning with Zelda Speaks for your Monday morning mindfulness session on Blog Talk Radio, The Female Solution, Mondays, 7:30 until 9 a.m. Be sure and send your ideas, thoughts, comments, and suggestions. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on the show, visit ZeldaSpeaks.com and send us your info. We'd love to have you. Experience mindfulness moments with the mindfulness/stress relief coach, Zelda Speaks. And thanks for sharing the mindfulness moment tip of the day. Stay on purpose, stay empowered, and stay tuned to your next session of mindfulness on higher learning with Zelda Speaks. Make it a mindful day. And thanks for listening.
And we're going to listen to a couple of audios Let me come back. We're going to listen to a couple of audios to remind us of this system that our soul lives in, the human body. Our topic today, of course, is the body as a church, which my guest who's coming on later talked about yesterday at this amazing meeting of the Day Out of Time. And the synchronistic human teaching is really about us coming up to speed, coming up to current knowledge, where the Gregorian calendar is obsolete. We've been on this system of Sunday through Saturday, where we've been almost like robots in bondage to this Gregorian calendar. And that's part of the reason I believe some of us are sick and tired and stuck and not evolving, because we've been programmed for years, hundreds of years, 400 and some odd years, which is interesting how we talk about slavery. Yeah, 400 years of slavery. The whole planet been under a slave calendar that puts you in this robotic system that says this is Sunday, this is the hump day, this is the weekend, and we go one week after another. And so we're in an exciting period to come out of that rhythm, come out of that robotic rhythm, that slave rhythm, plantation rhythm, and get into a more galactic, free moving, synchronistic, being synchronized with the planetary movement, especially the moon. The moon should be regulating all of us, not just women on their menstrual cycle, because every woman who has a healthy body goes through menstruation, or a period of time where blood is leaving their body, and they have to wear pads. And all my granddaughters just starting that journey, so I'm really working to be a comfort to her during that period. I had a horrible menstrual period when I was a teenager. I would get pain and vomiting in the first day. I couldn't keep anything on my stomach. It was just miserable. So I'm glad when women who are still in that cycle are having a pain-free one, if nothing else. So my granddaughters are pain-free right now. They just flow. So we're on this cycle, whether we like it or not, a 28-day cycle of life, where women are tied to the moon cycles, 28 days of waning and waxing period, and then blood flows, waning, waxing, blood flowing. So think about the calendar you've been on, how strict it is, based on what? Gregorian, Greek, men's minds. Let's do this. Let's put a Sunday, the planetary names on these 7 days, and let's just control everybody. But I want to just play 2 audios to remind us of how much more powerful we are when we connect to the amazing human body systems. And we're just going to talk about a few. This talks about just a few, but I want us to, when my guest comes on, she's kind of a mind blower with her wisdom and knowledge. Tawhiyda Tupak-EL, what a name. Who gets names like that? Only if you have the queen royalty mind. But when we are looking at the season we're in, this crazy season we're in, we want to elevate our minds. We want to elevate this body. We want to increase the frequency of this body so that we can evolve and become the royalty and the queens and kings that we're meant to be. So this is about just a short audio about the human body and all the systems. Think about these are just a few. There's even more, because we're not going into metaphysics, but there's even more systems that we want to be thinking about as we go forward today.
The human body is a complex network of cells, tissues, and organs that together make life possible. 10 major systems are responsible for the body's functions: skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, nervous, endocrine, lymphatic, respiratory, digestive, urinary, reproductive. The skeletal, muscular, cardiovascular, and nervous systems in particular create an infrastructure that facilitates the other systems. The adult skeletal system is a framework of over 200 bones. They hold the body together, give it shape, and protect its organs and tissues. The skeleton also provides anchor points for the muscular system, which includes 3 types of muscles: skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. They are found throughout the body and facilitate movement. Nestled within these muscles is the cardiovascular system, a pipeline that includes the heart, blood vessels, and the blood itself. Also called the circulatory system, the cardiovascular system delivers oxygen, white blood cells, hormones, and nutrients throughout the body. Lastly, the nervous system is a communication network of nerve cells that the body uses to transmit information and coordinate bodily functions. It's comprised of the brain, the hub of sensory and intellectual activity, the spinal cord, and the many cranial and spinal nerves that emanate from them. This infrastructure, created by neurons, blood, muscles, and bones, allows 3 other systems to regulate the body's environment: the endocrine, lymphatic, and urinary systems. The endocrine system is a series of glands that use information carried by the nervous system to help regulate the body's processes. Thanks to this neural connection, endocrine glands, such as the thyroid, are aware of the amount of hormones and other chemicals they need to produce. These chemicals are then distributed throughout the body by way of the cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular and nervous systems are also utilized by the lymphatic system, a collection of lymph nodes and vessels that help regulate the body's defenses. Also called the immune system, the ways to transmit information about affected areas of the body and then sends out healing agents like white blood cells via the bloodstream. Another key regulatory system is the urinary system, which includes the kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra. The urinary or renal system maintains the body's electrolyte levels and filters waste from the blood. This waste is sent through the blood vessels into the kidneys and then expelled as urine. All of these systems require energy to function, and that's where the respiratory and digestive systems come in. The respiratory system is a group of passageways and organs that extracts life-giving oxygen from the air we breathe. Air enters the body through nasal cavities, travels down the throat, and is then transported to the lungs. The lungs extract oxygen for the body to use and then expel a carbon dioxide byproduct when we exhale. Energy can also come in the form of food. The digestive system is an approximately 30-foot series of organs that convert food into fuel. Food enters the system through the mouth, then moves into the esophagus, the stomach, and the intestines. Nutrients are absorbed into the body while solid waste is expelled through the anal canal, the end of the digestive tract. No matter the role, size, or shape of any of the body's systems, each began with a reproductive system. This system is responsible for creating life. The primary organs involved differ between the sexes, with ovaries, fallopian tubes, the uterus, and vagina found in women, and testes and a sperm channel found in men. Together, fertilization may occur, organ systems form, and then a child is born. Humans are complicated organisms, but when our 10 major organ systems are healthy, they ensure our well-being.
So that audio explains 10 major organ systems, but that's just the beginning of the church that we live in this body. I want to share with you a teaching about the microbiome as the most important organ. This is one teaching that shares that this woman, who's a scientist, believes that your gut microbiome is the most important organ in your body. So I wanted you to play a little bit of this, a TED Talk, and she does a great job of talking about the most important organ in the body. You heard about 10, but this is what she believes as a scientist is the most important organ. So please hear her.
BU School of Medicine, and I have decided to So I am here today to talk to you about the importance of listening to your gut. Brief hello, I'm a 38-year-old entrepreneur, biochemist, went to MIT, BU School of Medicine, and I have decided to dedicate my life to studying the gut and the gut microbiome. 6 years ago, I even started a company to address this issue, and I'm a routine contributor to some of the publications that you see here as a specialist in gut health. I've been really fortunate over the last few years to have worked with professional athletes and professional athletic teams to try to improve their gut health because it's so intimately related to things like increasing performance, decreasing sickness, and improving recovery time. So why am I here today? Well, I'm here to talk to you about what I think is the most important organ, and that is the gut microbiome. So for those of you who don't know what the gut microbiome is, it's everything from your mouth to your colon, from entry to exit, all the bits in between. So your stomach, your small intestine, your large intestine, and all of the little critters that live in there. So bacteria, fungi, viruses, and cells. There are trillions of these little critters that are living in there. And we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but diversity is so important in the gut. So why is it important to have a healthy gut? Well, it's really important for long-term health. So if you have a healthy gut, you're going to feel more energetic. You're going to get sick less often. You're going to have better mental clarity and ultimately have better emotional well-being. Versus if you don't have a healthy gut, a lot of research is showing that this is related to things like autoimmune conditions, diabetes, neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's, and even emotional issues like anxiety and depression. So our theme for today is, you are what you eat. So you're probably sitting there thinking, yeah, you know, as a kid, my parents always used to tell me, you are what you eat, as they tried to foist broccoli off on me, or if you were really, really lucky, Brussels sprouts and other things like that. But the reality is, they're actually right. Eating poorly can do really two things. So the first one, it can prevent you from getting the nutrients that you need to stay healthy. And second, it can actually damage and change the entire composition of your gut, which will render it unable to digest things properly and create the nutrients that you need to function. So today we're going to look at 3 molecules that you get from dietary intake. You have to eat these things. So the first is something called tryptophan. You've probably heard of this. Thanksgiving comes, everybody talks about the tryptophan-induced coma that happens after you have your food. It's found in turkey, but it's also found in things like eggs and chia seeds. So your body takes tryptophan and converts it into a lot of other really important molecules, 2 of which we're going to talk about today. So one called serotonin. Serotonin is something that makes you happy, super important, and something called melatonin, which actually helps you to sleep. So imagine if you don't have any tryptophan or you're not consuming enough tryptophan. Well, no matter how many roses or diamonds or chocolates your significant other brings you, it's just not going to make you happy, and that's kind of sad. Also, you won't be able to sleep, so you won't be able to count sheep at night. Another example is a compound called tyrosine. So tyrosine, another amino acid, is found in foods like almonds, but it's also found in lentils and seeds and edamame. Tyrosine is converted to a variety of really important things as well. So we'll talk about dopamine. Dopamine is a compound that you may have heard of, and it's essentially, it motivates you to do stuff. So it's this initiative-oriented behavior that it helps to propel. And epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline, the fight or flight molecule, which is really helpful when you're up on this stage. So, imagine if you don't have these things, what would happen? Well, here's what would happen. One, you'd be drooling on your couch, or worse yet, if you were being chased by a mountain lion, which I'm sure, who knows, may happen at some point in everybody's life. The emoji being, huh? You don't want this to happen, right? You need a body to respond to these types of situations. Third, we're going to talk about something called indole 3-lactic acid. So it's really important. It's found in fermented foods, things like pickles, sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir. ILA is super important because your body takes it in, and there's certain bacteria in the gut that actually convert the ILA into something called IPA, indole propionic acid. That indole propionic acid is actually one of the strongest antioxidants in the body. And again, you guys might have heard of this word antioxidant, but I'll explain what it does. So in your body, you have a variety of different chemical processes that happen, and many of them create things called free radicals. These are bad. They're reactive species that go and damage your cells. They damage DNA, and then ultimately can lead to things like cancer. So these antioxidants come in and actually break down your free radicals, keeping you healthy longer. IPA, very important. So clearly eating certain types of foods is really necessary to keep you healthy, but it's not sufficient. A healthy microbiome is needed to be able to execute these conversion processes that we're talking about, to take things in, to digest them, and to spit out other molecules that are really important to your health. So let's talk a little bit about what makes a healthy microbiome. So I've tried to simplify this a bit, but essentially each emoji is a type of bacteria. You have different ones, right? So you've got some that digest veggies, some that digest meats and breads and oils, and your gut is populated by many, many different types of things. So in a healthy gut, you have very diverse species in there. Now let's say you decide that you are just going to eat foods that are really high in fat, things like hot dogs and ice cream and pizza, although pizza sounds really good right now. If you train your system to do this, your gut's going to start producing more and more of the type of bacteria that are used to seeing the kinds of foods that you eat. And eventually you're going to skew the ratios. Those bacteria are going to outcompete the other types that are there because they're just not being used. And then you'll end up with a situation where you can have a very unhealthy, not diverse set of bacteria in your gut. Now, you might ask, can you reverse that? Yes, but it often takes a lot of time and energy to do. Sometimes you actually can't. Sometimes you just, once those bacteria are gone, it's really tough to bring them back. So what's really interesting is the body tries to actually generate the right building blocks, even if you've damaged your gut. So again, on the bottom right-hand side, you can see there's a silhouette. You can see the little emojis down at the bottom. They've taken in food, but you don't have a diverse set of bacteria in there. They've taken in your food, and they're trying to create these compounds to keep you healthy, but there's just not enough of them. They're not working the right way. Whereas on the other side, you've got a silhouette where the person has lots of diversity, lots of different bacteria emojis, and they're being able to take in the food, digest it, and spit out many things that are really important to keep you healthy. Now, here's the sad part. Many of the things that we do in our life are in fact completely lethal to the microbiome. I love chips, sadly. You don't find a lot of healthy stuff in most chips. You're not going to find tyrosine, tryptophan, or ILA here. Antibiotics, medicines, helpful, but they kill bacteria. And they don't just kill bad bacteria, they kill all bacteria. And so oftentimes after you've gone through a course of antibiotics, you kill off your microbiome. Sometimes it never rebuilds properly again. Stress. You hear this, stress kills things, stress is bad. We could have a whole 30-minute talk on the impact of stress on the microbiome. Stress is in fact extremely bad for the microbiome. Your central nervous system, your brain, is intimately connected to your gut. The two talk back and forth to each other. Think about it. When you're stressed, you have a headache, you feel terrible. You often feel that stress in your stomach. Butterflies in your stomach, anxiety. Sometimes you have to go to the bathroom more. The two talk to each other all the time. They're intimately connected. And so the more stressed you are, the more likely it is that you will damage your microbiome. And then lastly, we live in a very aseptic society, and this is bad. Decreases the diversity of bacteria in the gut. One of my favorite examples is, back many years ago, kids would play in the dirt and they'd be exposed to all kinds of different things. Now, kids come inside, they watch TV, they play on their phones, and a lot of diseases are actually being connected to the lack of diversity in the gut. Things like autism, ADHD. So super important to get outside. So what can we do about this? Well, the good news is not all is lost. It is possible to improve your gut. And this is one of the things that I get to do every day, and I'm so fortunate in my job. My company actually is trying to measure the functional state of the gut, define what that is, and then to create interventions to improve it. We call this improving your internal fitness. So what are some simple things that you can do to help improve your gut? Well, one, we've talked about changing your diet. Two, we've talked about stress management techniques, incorporating mindfulness, meditation, breathing exercises to minimize your stress, or exercise is great. 15, 20 minutes of walking a day can help to, keep you regular. It can, we talk about that in front of the group, but that's what we do. It can help to, mitigate your stress, and it can actually help to promote the growth of certain types of bacteria. And then lastly, targeted supplementation. I'm not saying to take lots of different supplements. I'm saying if there's certain things that your body needs, you might actually take a supplement. Sometimes there's a lot of fish that you have to eat in order to get the equivalency of one pill, but make sure it's what you need. So the next time that you're lying on the couch, feeling lethargic and not sure why, or you're sick for the 5th time in a year, listen to your gut. Thank you.
All right. Any questions out there? Any comments out there? What do you feel? How do you feel about your gut? Are you taking the best care of your gut? And she did mention sometimes it's not, you're not able to recover from damage like from antibiotics, but there are so many supplements out there, probiotics namely, that have quite a diverse supply in this capsule even of gut microbiome. Remember, there's trillions and there's thousands of diverse types of microbes, but there are some good probiotics out there that can help reestablish your gut, especially after you've had antibiotic therapy, whatever. And as she said, that destroys your gut, but you've got to rebuild it, and it's possible. Why? Because you're a church. What happens in the church? We're going to be talking about that in the next hour. What happens in the church? The building that we grew up in. Many of us grew up. My mother sent us to a Methodist church. She didn't go. My father didn't go. But my 2 sisters and I had to go to a Methodist church every Sunday. We had to walk to church too. We didn't get a ride. It was about 4 blocks away. But we walked to church, sat and listened to a boring sermon for the most part. And then we loved to go to coffee hour because they had cookies and tea and coffee, and we could go and enjoy the tea and coffee. I used to love the black tea, and I'd put sugar and milk in there, and I felt like I was a grown-up. But think about our relationship with that church where we were being taught certain things. We were growing, we were learning a whole lot, and we were being programmed really about a religious system that served us for a time because we thought we needed a savior out there, and that served us for a time. But now, yesterday was a day out of time. I gathered with like-minded people, with conscious people who are celebrating a new year. Today's a new year in a cycle of lunar timing, more like lunar timing. The moon has so many 28 days that it goes through waxing and waning, and it does that 13 times during the year to make a full cycle, a full year. So we can choose now to be on that cycle of time. more lunar cosmic order and alignment. And we started out this morning rolling our joints to a new tone, realizing that 13 joints are lining up with the 13 moon cycles and 13 tones that help us be better at what we're here to do. So I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to listen to, hopefully my guest will be here in the next hour, and we're going to listen to audio I found about our body and the mystery of the body in terms of sacrament and churchy religious things. Because as we identify this body as more sacred and more cosmic, that's the beauty of it. If we identify this vessel we're in aligning with, and this is the energy up and down, back and forth that goes on when we're breathing up and down, and in front of our spine and behind our spine there's this up and down energy. So there's so much more to learn about this amazing body. And we're going to do that. But first, I want to play one of my favorite commercials about toxins and how we want to be aware of our environment wherever we are. We want to always be mindful to protect this sacred church environment called the human body. So let's take a break, and we'll talk about the sacrament of the church and the body and how the mystery lines up.
Have you ever wondered why some of the healthiest people still get sick? Or why the occurrence of learning disabilities like ADHD have drastically increased over the last 50 years? How is it that the cancer rate has gone from 1 in 8,000 back in the 1910s to 1 in 2 today? Isn't it odd that even though we are more focused on health than ever before, that there's still been an increase in diseases, disorders, illnesses, and other conditions that destroy your quality of life? What if we told you that the very things you're using in your home to avoid these health concerns are actually what's causing them? If you're the decision maker in your home, you know how overwhelming it can be to keep your family safe. Today, we'd like to welcome you and simply provide you with some important information and shed some light on some health concerns you may not be aware of. Over the last 100 years, thousands of toxic chemicals have been introduced into society because of an excessive overstock of chemicals designed for warfare in the Second World War. Today, as the 2013 documentary The Human Experiment states, quote, 42 billion pounds of toxic chemicals enter into commerce every day. That amount would fill up 623,000 tanker trucks. And as we speak, there are over 80,000 such chemicals on the market in the U.S. Over the last half century, chemical usage has gone up by 2,000%. And it isn't until there are enough people hurt by these products that there are even questions raised. Does this sound familiar? On July 12, 2018, the well-known grocery store brand of talcum and baby powder company, Johnson & Johnson, was ordered to pay a $4.6 billion lawsuit. As it was said, they knowingly covered up asbestos in their product for over 40 years, and we have been trustingly using it on ourselves and our most precious of all things, our newborn babies. As parents, we work hard to keep our families safe and healthy. We diligently try to choose the best brands at the grocery store for our families. After all, keeping a clean home is an important part of good health. But is it possible that cleaning your home is dangerous? 7.3 million American couples have trouble conceiving or carrying a pregnancy to term. This is a 49% increase since 1988. Recent studies have shown that babies that do make it to term are being born pre-polluted, with up to 28 harmful chemicals in their blood, with indicators that over 400 more were present, all without ever eating food, drinking water, or even breathing air yet. It just doesn't make any sense.
And that's why we're here at Health and Wellbeing with Viata, the Female Solution. We're here to make sense of all the craziness and all the confusion out there that is causing stress in our society. And if that wasn't enough, we got a political season that is off the chain. I call it a SHIT show right now. This is people throwing mud at each other, making crazy drama. So that's why I invited my guest today, because she made more sense than I even thought could be made sense, because she was just bringing out so much knowledge and wisdom. And I think, oh, she's here. This sister is here. Good morning, sister.
Happy New Day in Lakesh.
Happy New Day. Happy New Day. Oh, you're like blending in with the branches there.
Yay.
You have become the tree in nature.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. How are you, New
I
Day?
am doing so fantastic after meeting you and seeing you in person and hugging you and painting your face and rubbing you down with your eye. I really got to see the brilliance and the magnificence of who and what you are. You do a
Oh,
wonderful show. You're such a gracious host. You do your research. You're kind. You come on in your space and you have your father, the strong ancestor that walks with you with his strong medicine, sending light to his daughter. So it's an honor to be on your platform, as I have sent you people to interview, and so now you have me. So that's awesome.
oh, thank us, as we say, united in souls and spirits. So
Absolutely,
wonderful,
Ashe.
wonderful. So, oh, and let's start by learning a little bit about you, sister, because you are just amazing. I want everybody to know you better. And yeah, as you said, you've been connecting me with so many awesome people. And I am really honored actually to have you now to tell our listeners worldwide actually about you. Give us a little bit about your background and
Okay.
why you do what you do today.
Okay. I was raised in Philadelphia. That's where I first drank the water. My mother was actually a Buddhist.
Oh,
So I was baptized a Buddhist at one point.
wow.
Her and my father came together to create me and my sister, and then they separated. My father became a Jehovah's Witness, but he was a jazz artist as well. So I get that jazzy energy from my dad and my mom, actually, too. My mom was, disciplined in yoga. She was a bibliophile. I mean, she was a fervent reader, so she kept books around the house like The Prophet and the Iliad and I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings and all types of book. You know, it's another book that she had by John Bach, and it was about a bird. I can't remember the title, but she always kept really good books around, which kept me questioning. And she was like one of 13 children, and she was the one who didn't really go to church as much. She went to college. She started, practicing yoga and became a Buddhist. So she was kind of marching to her own drum. She was, like a militant freedom fighter, with Martin Luther King and others.
Wow.
And she homeschooled me for a little while. And she had a really, really good job. She worked at Boeing. And she felt that it was some prejudice in their job practices. So she took herself out of that job to kind of stay at home for a little while. And then she went to school to become a teacher, a, um, a mentally, a differently able teacher, I would say that. So all that education and rearing was instilled in me to be like, how there's people born in the family who are the space cadets, the weird one,
Yep.
the maybe the black sheep they call it,
Uh,
the one who's in the health food.
goody two shoes. What about
I
goody
was
two
that
shoes?
one. The one that changed their name and changed their hair. I'm that one in the family, right? So
Yes.
I'll always be able to live up to that. Not live it down, but live it up. They always call me for the remedies in the family. Call me for herbs and recipes and things like that. So I'm really, really, really proud of that upbringing. It was me and my sister in the household. And then I began to um, take on other spiritual teachings outside of Buddhism, Sufism in Philadelphia with Sheikh Sufi Bawa Mahayadeen, and then coming into Dr. York's camp in Philadelphia. It was so dripping with Islam. You could not get away from Islam, whether it was Orthodox, Sunni, Sufi, or whatever, or Lost and Found Bilalians, you know. So I went through that school. One of my first books that I read was Dick Gregory's book, Cooking with Mother Nature.
Oh,
And
wow.
then,
A good one.
yeah, that one, and Message to the Black Man as well, and others that really, really help develop me, you know. So, yeah, I have to give my parents the praise for giving birth to me and then giving me the wonderful experiences that would lean me toward health and healing and nature and service and dancing. My mother put me in dance school when I was very, very young. So movement and body measurements and just, you know, fluid movement became a part of who I am. That's why I like dance. It's easy for me to express myself through dance. It's easier for me to express heaven in my body. So I'm not waiting until I drop my body to experience heaven. Heaven, for me, through red crystal serpent energy, I'm kin 25, we experience heaven in our bodies. So, yeah, so that's a little bit about me and how I came to be who I am as a mother, a grandmother, a clan mother, a co-creator.
Wow. And then just an all around natural person. I tell you, that scenery is just perfect for you. How the
Right here on
trees
the farm.
be dancing out of you. You're just in, you are nature. You're at the farm. What farm is it?
Yeah, I'm out here in the historic West End in Oakland City in Atlanta, Georgia. Patchwork City Farms LLC is the name of the farm here. It's
Oh,
about an
wow.
acre and a half, and we got lots of food growing. The earth is really, really moist because we had loads of rain. So right after the rain, the harvest kind of heals itself and it grows, and the worms get to burrow really deep in the soil, leaving their castings, and the boll weevils and the roly-polies and the spiders and ladybugs and all that. It's teeming here, and it's so good to be here because you get to see what was here at night. You come back, you see mushrooms popped up out of the ground, you see deer tracks and rabbit tracks, and even dogs, you know, the neighborhood can get in here. So this is really, really, really nice to see nature as a mirror of yourself, as a metaphor for life, and the continuing cycles of life, the different stages that some plants die out, they drop their seed, and another cycle begins again. So it's a wonderful place to really, really heal, to live, and to eat from, and to do service as an earth steward. You know,
Yeah.
even if you're not a landowner, you know, you can do some weeding in a community garden and tend the garden somewhere, even if it's a bucket in your home or on your steps or on your porch or on your veranda.
That's so interesting because
Yeah.
I have not been able to grow much in my yard that I live in, but I have a compost bucket and I have
Mm-hmm.
a compost pile, and I dumped some watermelon in there because it was old in the fridge, and the next day it was gone. So somebody took care of it.
Yep. Yep.
Every time I put the watermelon rinds out, the next day there's like claws that have scraped every bit of that
Oh,
watermelon, even
wow.
eaten the
That's
rind
amazing.
time. So you're right.
Yeah.
We can
Mm-hmm.
see the evening activity the next day.
Absolutely. Composting is a sacred act. I
Oh,
would encourage everybody to do it because it's actually a ritual, because when you give back to the earth, it gives itself to you. So you're fostering a communication with Mother Earth, and you're an extension of Mother Earth. So um, composting, like, I just moved, so I'm not access to my compost pile when I lived at my house. So now I just put everything in the freezer until I can bury it here at the farm or someplace
yeah,
else.
yeah.
And then, getting the practice of saving the seeds, because you can take the watermelon seeds, do artwork with them, or plant them later, or blend them, powder them. You got cosmetics that have like ground up watermelon seeds in them. People making earrings with shellacked watermelon seeds. So watermelon seeds in itself is like an art, to look at. So the practice of seed saving is one of the things that we can do when we eat things that we know that are organic. We can just put them in the freezer up to two years or so, date them, label them, and then plant them in season.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing with and now that I have watermelon seeds, it's hard to find watermelon.
Yeah, and you can just spit them out, like you said, and they'll grow.
I put them all in the compost pile. I'm waiting for them to just pop up. Right. Watermelon to show up, because the vines really do grow quickly.
They kind of run. Yeah, they're runners, and they they don't even need the trellis. You can just build a mound and put a couple seeds there, and they like come out of the mound like a volcano, and their vines will come down. Yeah.
So
easily.
After listening to a little bit of your history, your life, you did you spend any time in the traditional church, the denominational church? Sounds like
I actually did.
You did?
Because at one point when my mother and father separated, and we moved in with our grandmother, and then prior to that, I was raised in my grandmother's house as well with my parents for a bit. We did go to church, and I absolutely loved church. And I like Bible study too. I just like reading the written word. And early on, I developed an eye to kind of decipher it from the older stories to what it could mean for me now.
Yeah.
How I could live that now in the present. So my favorite part of church was the dance part. When we got up to dance, when we got up to sing, the praise and worship part, that movement and measure, that was my favorite part. When we got up to sing, we are soldiers in the army, and we got up and actually danced and moved down the aisles.
That was in Philly?
In Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yep, in Holy Cross Baptist Church. My grandmother was on the motherboard. She wearing white with the white gloves, and people want to come over to the house after church for prayer, for trays of macaroni and cheese, to borrow money, and she got to go in the cookie jar to get a couple of dollars to feed people. And she tell them, "Now you can have this, but when you get your welfare check, come back and pay me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy,
She was the bank. She was like the bank in the neighborhood.
Taste and smell that macaroni and cheese from your grandma. Oh boy, nobody could top that.
Apple pies too.
Yeah, we were talking about coleslaw, potato salad the other day, since July 4th, and we were talking about how people can mess up some potato salad.
Oh, wow.
Some guy bought some potato salad to my son's house with bacon in it, and I'm like, who does that? I heard that. It was European culture there that was
maybe some bacon bits, maybe those soy bacon bits, but we don't eat like the bacon like that. Yeah.
Never anyway. But how did you yesterday you came out with the body as a church? Share with us some of the details of the body as a church that bring us into our cosmic alignment and connection with the tones that you talking about. You put my joint rolling on a whole nother level.
Right. That was amazing.
Share with our audience about the body, the idea of the body as a church, and how we can, grow from that idea.
Yes, indeed. You were at the Day at a Time celebration in Atlanta with us, and I had the piece on, like the cultural piece of really walking the 13 moon calendar and activating it in our body so we can engage with it every day, so that we can see ourselves as the universe, as the galactic universe, not something out there, but it's definitely inside first. So just like you roll your joints when you do your ankles and your knees and your hips or your waist joint, your wrists, your elbows, your shoulders, and your neck. Those rolling of the joints, I do them 13 times to the left and 13 times to the right. 13 dealing with the 13 moons. Like the Ethiopians have a 13 moon calendar. The Olmecs, the Mayans, had a 13 moon calendar. The turtle shell has 13 sections on its top shelf, so that 13 really, 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 really stands out. That's a master number. We did a ceremony yesterday, on the day out of time, at the dawning, at the sunrise. It was 13 people that showed up. It
Wow.
was amazing. Yeah, it was
It's
amazing.
significant.
Very significant. And when we added up everybody's galactic signature or their kin number, it came to 260. So the strong symbolism came out. And like they say, numbers don't lie, people do. It was really, really evident that we were in the right place at the right time, divine time. No matter what the time was on the clock, even if it was a little later after sunrise, the real time happens within you, the artist. It happens within you. So when I say that the body is a church, is that the washing that we do on the inside of our body, the seasonal cleansings that we do on the outside and the inside of our bodies, the anointing. Like if we take different scriptures, I'm not a Bible scholar, so I can't quote word for word or different chapters and things like that. But there is something in the Bible that says when your eye is single, it talks about meditation and focusing on the third eye. And
Yeah.
then another one is when your eyes are the windows to the soul, meaning when your eyes are clear, when you are taking in the right liberty, maybe some sun gazing, eye washing and things like that, your eyes will become clear, you know? And even your ears. When they say speak no evil, hear no evil, there's different things, vibrations that you can take in from your ears. Even our organs, like if we talk about our organs in the body and the organs that are in the church, when the music, when the musical artist plays the organ, and those musical notes and tones that comes from that beautiful instrument inside of the stained glass windows and things like that, if we put our body over that template where we come to fellowship and worship and praise and dance and purge, we can know that we are the anointed body Christ and that we are the church. We are the church. So sometimes when we read the Bible, we have to see us as the God. Isn't it written in your law that you're gods? You know, this is not blasphemous. This is, this is for true. Jesus wanted us to know that if he can do these miracles, if he can do these things, then so can we. You know, so even though, sometimes people worship something outside of themselves, a picture, an idol, a plaque, stone, polished marble, we have to take that within and see ourselves as the communication, as the link, as the conduit for the Most High to show up within ourselves, and then we radiate it out through the stained glass windows that are our body, the hue of our body. Like sometimes when I'm sitting in the sun, I look at my skin and I see the rainbows on my skin or the
Ooh.
rainbows in my eyelashes. It's like, am I a big serpent, a big snake? What is going on here? I can see it. I can see it. And everybody can do it. You just gotta have the light catch you and your skin will be iridescent, just like the snake skin that we slough off
Right.
monthly or daily or at the cycles of the moon. So if we follow the cycles of the moon and we look at how we feel when we go to church, the fellowship, the praise and worship, the meeting people, we can do that in our own bedrooms. We can do that in our own homes, so that they say Christ is coming back, through the fire this time. I mean, that could be eating sun-fired foods. That could be exposing yourself to inspirational information that gets you so filled up that your cup runneth over, that you're able to quicken others. And that when you walk in the room, you bring your magnificence, you bring your ancestors, you bring your spirit guides. You are the Holy Ghost. You are your parents, the mother and the father coming up, like God and Mary coming together to have you. If you see yourself as the anointed one, then you will be more on purpose to really show and activate and express the medicine that you're here to do. Because if we have a sun up in the sky, then we're definitely the rays of light that are going to keep it moving and keep it beaming and radiating throughout time, through our loved ones or whoever we meet on our medicine path. We're supposed to recognize them as God as well and speak to them, nod to them, wave to them, You know, you never walk past anybody and not give them an acknowledgement because they're medicine on your path. And if you're reflecting them, then it's a reason why that y'all might not even hug or embrace, but you can send out a vibration to them that can uplift them. You know, like prayer heals, vibrations heal, you know, on an invisible realm. So, yeah, we are all churches and disciples and gods and angels. We are the glorified ones as well. And we know that there's a master divine creator that we can't even see, that we're not even going to attribute a face to or sex to. But if we're in that image, then yes, indeedy, we got to do our part.
Well, one of
Mm.
my favorite scriptures is when Christ said, "The kingdom is within,"
Yes,
because
Lord.
just as you so eloquently stated now, all around us is medicine, and you're in. Look at the environment you're in.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
medicine. Just walk.
Mm-hmm.
Look
The
at that.
holy basil is here.
Oh
The
my God.
chard is here. The lavender, the
Oh,
rosemary, the
I,
cilantro, the parsley, the celery. It's all here.
oh, and there's the medicine, just looking at it and taking in the energy of the purpose of all those plants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's a
how
beautiful
beautiful.
thing.
And then taking that the kingdom is within just has to help us see our divinity.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
divinity. We don't need to put anybody on an altar or lift anyone else. Like, we go to church and the pastor sits up there with his
Mm-hmm.
pulpit and he preaches this message, and then later we find out how crooked he is or how
Mm-hmm.
imperfect
So
he is.
synchronistic. We were just talking about that. It's AF, right? So if we give ourselves and our loved ones that praise, even though that person has earned the right to direct and preach and uplift, but we have to do the same thing because we can be the preacher or the leader in someone else's life, in our own lives, for our children, for our loved ones, for our mates. You know, so yes, we really can't put anybody above ourselves, but give ones and ones those adorations that they deserve and ourselves as well. So that's why I came on Adore You, because I see you. You are just a wonderful person, and I'm sure that even the new listeners can feel your energy and your sincerity and how you work through the technology and interface on different platforms.
Now
You
I
know?
met someone there yesterday who was going to a Billy Carson meeting, and I'm trying to remember who it was because I talked to
Oh,
so
that
many
would be
people.
me. Oh, so it might be somebody else. Yeah, because Penda, Kin 86, she
Oh,
traveled from Philadelphia yesterday, and
yes,
she's
yes, yes.
actually going. That girl is
Oh,
doing the
yeah,
darn
yeah.
thing.
Okay,
So
that was who. Are you going too?
I'm going as well. This is not until August the 2nd, though. August 2nd through the
Yeah,
5th,
okay.
I'll
So
be in
she got
Florida.
a free ticket. She
Mm-hmm.
won a free ticket to Billy Carson's meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Right.
actually put out, I get emails and texts from him all the time. He put out a video that I've got to watch about how to be your own president.
Oh, wow.
And then
Okay.
another friend posted a video from Telegram about a guy who is just beautiful, talking about the SHIT show in politics right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying, let me tell you something. When I go in the voting booth this year, I'm writing in my name as president of me.
Endorse yourself, vote for yourself, root for
I'm like
yourself,
gonna push.
do for self. Yes.
I'm pushing that message from here on
Mm-hmm.
in because this craziness that we mudslinging by two grown up people who's
Yeah.
supposed to be representing the United States government.
Right. It's crazy. Yeah, we got so
I
much, and
don't.
right, we got so much internal work to do. We got to rewrite the whole thing. I remember Dick Gregory said, when the government fails you, something about it's your duty to create a new one. So
I'm
that's our
telling
duty, to
you. I'm
create an
telling.
inner government and an outer government, because it's not serving us at all. I don't even relate to Kamala Harris. I like her name the way that sounds, but as far as her doing things for us, you know, maybe this would make her lean toward that, maybe exonerate some of our political prisoners, things like that. Put more money into affordable housing and gardening and agriculture and things like that. But from her history of being top cop in different areas, I not in alignment with her so far.
Yeah, and then
But
you
people can show improve. There's always room for improvement.
well, you look at the other side, and right now their campaign is like throwing mud at each other and criticizing each other and putting the other one down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not hearing a whole lot about how you're going to change this crazy
Right.
war situation.
Exactly. What
You
we
know,
gonna do about that? Right. Like
it's just
people are
so
being killed on our watch, and we can
it's,
do something.
yeah. So it's up,
Even if it's sacrificing our lives
it's
to
up
have
to
this
us.
stop. You
Yeah,
know.
it's up to us to make the changes,
That's
starting in
right.
ourselves. Okay, the church here,
Absolutely.
like you said,
Yeah.
and
The
then it's
church,
up
the
to us.
temple. We're temple keepers.
Yeah, it's up to us to go to communities like you're in and
Mm-hmm.
promote that community as medicine
Mm-hmm.
versus big pharma
Right.
promoting themselves. I want to play this for our audience.
Mm-hmm.
This guy who is head of the WHO. I play this often because this is the reason I got bumped off of YouTube for 2 weeks because I
Oops.
went against what he said. And so this is what they're planning, though, for those who are not in the garden, like my clan mother here. This is what we need to be aware of and then speak the truth when we can.
But you know the serious challenge that's posed by anti-vaxxers, and I think we need to strategize to really push back because vaccines work, vaccines affect adults, and we have science, evidence on our side. I think it's time to be more aggressive in pushing back on anti-vaxxers. I think they use COVID as an opportunity and all the havoc they're creating. Maybe that's one of the messages also I would like to include to whatever I have said. But
Now, his organization controls YouTube, actually.
Mm.
WHO was mentioned in an email that I got that said, you're on strike again because you medical and misinformation. You can't be out there telling the truth about anything, blah, 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 blah. And so I read this and I said, and according to the guidelines of the WHO, I'm like, WHO? Really?
WHO.
YouTube? So that guy is the puppet, the face puppet of WHO, and he talks about we have to be more aggressive. And I hear that aggressive against those who really are telling the truth is what he's saying.
Right.
Like, ooh, what does that look like? So that means propaganda in my mind. The
Mm-hmm.
propaganda out there to dissuade us or try and convince us we shouldn't be telling the truth and we shouldn't be speaking up and you shouldn't be in that garden you're in because big pharma has a better solution.
Right.
They're safe and effective.
Mm-hmm.
About all we can say.
Right.
Other,
FDA approved and
yeah,
tested and all.
yeah. Before we get banned totally.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to be careful with our words, which I'm learning. Especially now, let me just. We got some comments here that I
Okay.
want to share, and if you have want to respond, let's see. This is from Thawat C. Doctor, teach the class,
All right. Dot Cedar, yay. My
and then
co-creator and support person. Love you.
okay. And then Naima Latif, our executive producer, says one evening she caught a possum digging out the avocado seeds and peelings out of my compost box. He looked at me and froze like, "Uh-oh." I just said, "Go ahead, help yourself." Good response. When you catch those animals doing what they naturally do, just say, "Go ahead, keep doing what you're doing." And then let's see. Tawad says, "Teach." Yes, this is what
Awesome.
we're doing today: is teaching and helping our audience to make better choices to be the president of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So let me take a quick commercial break here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do an audio here real
Sure.
quick because we're at the 9:30 mark, and I'm just so excited that you're here.
Yay. I was so excited to see you yesterday. It was like, wow, in living
Yay!
color,
'Cause
in all her radiance.
that's what we do here, and we're teaching about taking charge of your health. But we also want to teach about peace. So here's a commercial about the HWPL promoting the peace we need all over this planet.
Do you want to live in a world without war? Join our global peace movement. Heavenly Culture World Peace Restoration of Life transcends culture, religion, ideology, and other boundaries to achieve peaceful harmony in the global society. HWPL is committed to bringing world peace and cessation of war through peaceful dialogue between religious groups. I am Director Shin-Suk Kim of the HWPL Chicago branch of North America. Join us for our next gathering. Call 773-580-1501 and be a part of the movement for world peace. Email us at chicagohwpl@gmail.com.
So the prayer that we use the six directions.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the one that talks about being bringing harmony to the earth and stopping wars.
Yes, Lord. Yep. That is the prayer of the 7 directions, right? And
Yeah.
Jose Aguarias had wrote that. And sometimes when you hear it, you hear him playing the flute in interviews, and then he repeats it. So you're actually saluting the 7 directions, the north, south, east, and west, above, below, and in your heart center, right? So the last part of that prayer is ending of all wars. Now that's another pure prayer that I had learned, like that last part, because you're saluting the elements and the directions, and you're actually, saluting your angels. You know how we have the angels on the right and the left. We have the ancestors, even though the ancestors are not above, but figuratively speaking, they're in the heavenly realm. So you want them to come down and bless you. And you want to be able to have your eyes clear and open enough to recognize that they have never left, that they're already in your body, already in your organs, and in the crystal core of your heart, and in the crystal core of the earth, right? So one of the practices that I share with women who are still menstruating or flowering is to give their blood back to the earth in a ritualistic, simple way of either giving it back to the plant or in the earth somewhere near a tree, with a pure prayer of having the world be at peace, like ceasing of all wars. Now imagine if all women would do that. We have a lot of younger women who are still cycling, still flowering, still sloughing off eggs, and if you could use that as a healing blood, as a medicinal blood, you know, and as a ritual and as a prayer of focus to communicate with the earth, we're in alignment with you. We're not going to stand for any more senseless killing. We're not going to stand for any more wars. This is what we want, Earth. This is what we want, Mama. This is what we want, Gaia. Come into alignment. We're coming into alignment. We're shedding our earth. We're shedding our blood back to the earth as a spiritual vibration. Not that we had to cut someone's throat. Not that we're coming in someone's house to shoot them in their kitchen because they're boiling water. We don't want any more senseless killings.
Insanity.
So we will, insanity, no more of that. So we're going to give our blood willingly back to the earth,
Yeah.
We're catching it in tampons, we're catching it in sanitary napkins, but the earth needs it. The earth needs it for healing. And so our prayers can be amplified, heard, and felt by the earth and the Rainbow Bridge. So that's one of the things that I advocate. That's one of the prayers I know that real work. Our grandmothers are prayer warriors. A lot of us have kind of lost that strong prayer, even if we're in another denomination. If we can bring back some of those old rituals to strengthen our prayer and our focus and our intent to build that global harmony, we can help heal this. If we're not marching in the street or have signs on our lawn that say Black Lives Matters or whatever we're doing, whoever we vote for, we got to do something internally and ritualistically to really take back our power and send a message.
And as Kwame Sonhurst always points out, the spiritual, in spiritual is the ritual. That
Mm-hmm.
as we become more spiritual and less third dimensional,
Mm-hmm.
rituals are part of that process. So I
Right.
love that idea of the blood, capturing the blood and putting it
Mm-hmm.
up. My granddaughter just
Mm-hmm.
started her menstrual. This is
Mm.
on her third or fourth month,
Wow.
and I want to teach that to her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have granddaughters?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Have you been able to teach
Granddaughters.
that to them?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's very, very simple. At first, we kind of made it difficult because you can just catch it in a jar and like bury the jar, or
Oh,
you can keep it somewhere in the refrigerator so it won't start to decompose and smell. But you know, if you're using natural pads and natural things, it's a little bit easier than just getting something that has formaldehyde in it with a plastic background, a plastic backing. Even though you can take them apart and soak them and then pour it back, where you can bury those items as well. So yeah, I'll give out my email, and so people, because there's a prayer that goes with it, and yeah, it's a simple process that you can do. That I had learned this from a Peruvian elder. I went to a sweat lodge many moons ago. This is like many moons before I even met Kwame Sunhorse here in Atlanta. It was a sister as a brother named Skyman. Ashe to Skyman. I went to my first sweat lodge in Delaware, outside of Philadelphia, well, between Jersey and Delaware, I think it was. And he had different elders come around the world, from around the world. That this one elder, she said, I have a message for the women. I'm not going to be here long because my home was in the stars. I came to deliver this message and I'm going back to the stars. But she said that she had landed in Peru and that she came to Skyman's sweat lodge that weekend to deliver that message. And she told us to the issue that we have from our wounds. We need to water our plants with it. We need to take it to the ocean. We can fertilize our garden with it. We can do artwork with it, you know,
wow.
like ink of a pen or something like that, like a paintbrush or something like that, or with our fingers. So she told us all this stuff, and it so resonated with me. Because I know that that can be seen as wrong and dirty and nasty and bad. But even if we can correct it and have a shorter period, we're still going to have somewhat of an issue. Now, there's some women in the world, they do not have cycles. You know, more power to us and them. They do not have cycles for whatever reason. I think most of us do. So we should do something positive with it, like giving it back to the earth and doing a powerful prayer for protection of our men and our race and our people and our world, you know? So if it is an imbalance, that's what life is about, taking a negative and turning it into a positive. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so I learned that practice from her many moons ago, and I practiced it myself with much success in bringing things in my life that I needed, ceasing habits that no longer serve me from my life, just by doing that prayer. And then after you do a prayer of sincerity from your heart, then you ask for something that you want, a career, a relationship, some finances, and it will come because you prayed first for the healing of all wars and for the healing of yourself. And you were able to give a solemn blood vibration, a blood libation, if you will, to the earth without taking someone's life.
Yeah, powerful, powerful. And like you said, there's so many negative
Mm-hmm.
connotations to the idea of even touching the blood,
Mm-hmm.
drinking
Right,
the.
because that's another thing. That's like tithing. That's like paying yourself first. When you something that comes from you, something that's your my own like energy yield, that comes from you every month without fail. You can give it back. You can invest it in the healing of the earth and your people. So you're going to get what you ask for, when it's for the good of all. You know.
Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Okay, so your email, that's how they can get the prayer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they can get the prayer.
Give us your email, and I want
Uh
you to
huh.
talk a little bit about your name. How
Okay.
did you come up with that? But
Sure.
first, give your email.
Mm-hmm. It's Tawhida TAWHIYDA at Gmail.
Okay. And how did you come to add Tupak-El to that?
Oh, okay. So Tawhida is the belief in the unity and the oneness of God. Um, and I took on that name like many moons ago, right? My mother had given me another name. Well, me and my mother decided on another name that would be on my birth certificate. So I took on Tawhida um, as a unification and oneness and wholeness, something that would not just talk about physical beauty, but more of your inner beauty and being in connection with the divine. So Tupac came later when I became a member of the Unity Washita, and I'd married Zakor Tupak-El, who was a chief of, of the Washita Nation, and
That's a
all of
native. That's a Native American tribe.
that's Washita is like the mother clan
Okay.
where all of your nations come out of, like your Yamasee, like the Washita is synonymous with the Nubans and the Olmecs, like an old tribe, old nation, like the mother of all nations. So I was a part of the council of elders, um, and so all of us took on Tupac, and Tupac actually means King of the Serpents. So it's really deep because I'm kin 25, so I'm red crystal serpent. So the name Tupac is
Oh,
synonymous with serpent.
Ken Serpent.
yeah, kin,
Wow.
kin serpent. Kin 25 is red crystal serpent, but Tupac means serpent as well. When you dig deep and find that name, like Omaru has something to do with a serpent as well. So with serpents in our culture and serpents in the Bible represent healing, transformation, wisdom, rejuvenation, and resiliency. So the demonstration that I did yesterday at the Day Out of Time with the dancing and the movement of measure and rotating the joints is all a part of the dance and the rhythm and the movement and measure that the Hunapku in us represents. So
Did
yeah,
you ever listen to Tupac's music? Because immediately when
Mm-hmm.
most people Tupac, they don't know it means serpent. That's for sure.
Right,
All
exactly.
they know is Tupac, the rapper.
Yeah,
Did you ever listen
right.
to his
I
music?
have listened to his music and I've actually played some of Tupac music on my jazz show. I have a jazz program that airs every Monday night on 89.3 FM or WRFG.org that people can tap into from 10 p.m. to midnight, where I play the most awesome music. I carve out my music, I dig it up, I get it from the universe, and each one of my programs has a really good theme. So Tupac, I don't have a big collection of his music, but different parts of his music really sends a message. And Tupac has a place in my heart because he's actually done a song about his mother. So I thought that was really beautiful, even though he was a conscious rapper by, he got into the whole scene as well. So it's like a mixing of things that our younger people can relate to. But if you want to elevate your consciousness too, his music can do that as well. So now Tupac spells his with a C. I spell mine with a K. So I wasn't sure if the origin of the clan that he was a part of, was the same. But I do feel that he's one of my sons and, a freedom fighter because his mom was always on the front line, and she has a cultural center here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, tell me again, what day is your jazz station?
Okay, I'm on Monday nights at 10 from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. The physical station is here in Atlanta, 89.3 FM on your radio dial. If you're in Atlanta, online it's WRFG.org. And that's Monday night, 10 p.m. to midnight. Most time I'm live in the studio unless I have someone sitting in for me. And yeah, there's a call in line. If you want to speak to me, the program is called Phases. So phases is indicative of the moon, indicative of the phases of our lives, the phases that we grow through and that we glow through. So I talk about the galactic signature of the day. I talk a little bit about what's growing in the farm or on the farm, what the phase of the moon is, and what's in season. Yeah, I've had pretty nice interviews as well, sprinkled here and there. But the music always underscores the theme or the subject for that particular day or plasma.
Oh, wow. I love it.
Yeah, it's fun.
And,
A lot of
Robert
fun.
Emmanuel Holiday says, great program, great rising. Greetings from Doc Holiday, sending
All right.
blessings and prayers.
Ashe.
Thank
Received. Thank us.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm always looking for jazz music on the radio. Forget it. But even online, I'm never sure where to go. But I'm gonna definitely tune
Oh, yeah. Plug
Monday.
into 89.3 FM for all your musical needs because we play a whole eclectic array of world music, um, international music. But from 10 p.m. to midnight, most nights, there's a jazz air shifter who serve up their um, serving of jazz. And I do a mix since I'm from Philadelphia and I was raised on radio stations that mixed jazz with rock and funk. My music comes off like that. So it's like whatever you heard growing up is going to be a part of you. So by my father being a jazz musician, I got bit by the jazz bug very, very early. So I just love jazz. You're jazz, you're straight ahead jazz like John Coltrane, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, the Heath Brothers. But I like Sun Ra too. And I like those Alvin Eilers, they're avant-garde people that can take you out to the stratosphere, to the cosmos, but bring you back as well. So I play a little bit of that, some spoken words. So you might even hear Tupac in my music. You'll hear some Joni Mitchell, some Santana, and some Shaka Khan from time to time too. So
Oh,
if
I
it's good
love it.
music and has a message, because I believe that music carry sound loads, just like we get downloads and DNA codes from the sun and from the airs that affect our telomeres and then our body church. That sound loads um, can really uplift fallen humanity too and really bring about something in you, like strike a chord, like a remembrance. And a lot of times, the best music is really never played on commercial radio. It's your local musicians, it's underground music, it's music that time forgot. So I'm always digging for really good music. If I'm playing albums, I'm digging in the crates for good music. I'm digging for cassettes and CDs, some analog or digital or really, really, really good music. So most of the airshifters on that station really dig for what they like and what they can serve up that's going to really help fallen humanity musically. Music is the healing force of the universe.
That's my.
Healing force.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, music is my number one love. I don't have people around me in my life, but if I have to have music, that's what. And that comes from my dad. As a child, my dad would play that reel to reel tape
Oh,
with
I remember that.
New Orleans jazz because that's where he was from. And
Okay.
the first 9 years of his life were in New Orleans,
Mm-hmm.
and they had his family parlayed with
Mm-hmm.
the what's the record player that they used to, I forget the name of it.
Phonograph.
They called it something
Ju-
else.
ju- uh,
I'll think of it. But he used to have to clean up after the parties every weekend. But the one
okay.
thing that he taught us was about the music they played. So I
Yeah.
grew up with all kinds of music from
Me too.
Bessie, Joe, what's it, Betsy, the classical, and just all kinds of music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number one love.
Wow. Bessie
But
Smith.
before
Yeah.
we go, though, I pulled up the Synchronistic Human
Mm-hmm.
website, and I want you to just share with people why you think they should learn more about Synchronistic Human and
Mm-hmm.
go join the I Am. They had an I Am enrollment here that comes up. Transform your life, become an I Am member. Why?
Yes. Yes.
Why
Yes. Yes.
should people do this?
Right. People should do this because it's about evolution is a solution, right? So if we want to evolve on a daily basis, there's certain things we go to. We read, we have YouTube, we go to church, we go to the mosque, we go to the temple. But or being a part of organization We're just growing to give you the information about yourself internally, about you being the body church, about you being a representation of God in the flesh and as your kin number. So here you can learn about Olmec cosmology, how to live it, how to exemplify it on a daily basis. You can learn about the law of time, how we were tricked with the clock. You can't capture time on a clock. Time is art. Now we know the Gregorian calendar has the birthdays on there. It has the times and dates of our appointments, when taxes is due, the phases of the moon and things like that. Most of those holidays are about death and destruction of our people, like Thanksgiving and its overly run economic holidays like Christmas and Easter and all those other things. Now, we know that a lot of those holidays have a spiritual significance, but the spiritual significance has been lost because of the sales that the stores have, enticing you to buy on those days. If it's a holiday, like our holiday yesterday, we didn't spend any money. We
Right.
weren't hustling and bustling. We didn't have to leave there to go to a store to buy something outside of ourselves to
Thank
bring in.
God.
So when you follow my Olmec cosmology, you're celebrating the magnificence of who and what you are. Just like
So-
when you get your astrology chart done, you learn about your trine, your sun, your rising, your moon. This can help with peeling back the layers of who and what you are and your purpose.
Oh, right. We've got some callers. I apologize. I wasn't paying attention to the Blog Talk studio.
Okay.
And since Blog Talk is up and running, we don't want to miss these callers. So I've got 3 callers. We got to get you in like 5 minutes. So 336-350. That's Mama AZ. Your mic is open. Go ahead, sister.
Can you hear me, Dr. Z?
Yes, Tawhida, can you hear her?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Where in the world did you find this sister, the Washington? And I think you're talking about a Victrola, Dr. Z.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. That's exactly the
That's the wizard.
Victrola.
She got the answer.
Yes. Oh my God. You and today is a 5. If you add the digits up, it's a 5. It's about change. It's about leadership. It's about, oh man, thank you. Thank you. I can go on and on and on. Dr. Z, you freak me out. You're a trip. You're the ball.
Yeah, Dr. V is a God scout. She know how to find the stuff. She's magnetized the best
Where
people,
did I?
right?
I thought you.
And I'm not bragging. She just
I thought
magnetized
she's
good people.
asking me where I found you, but I thought Mama AZ connected me to Tawhida. Were you just listening to Tawhida to the show?
Oh, wait. Oh my God. I didn't sleep last night. Oh my God. Yes. Wait a minute. You're connected with Deborah?
Deborah.
Yes.
See?
Deborah. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Oh my God.
That's my peeps.
90 seconds for bringing me back to sanity. Yes, you got the station. That's right.
Yeah.
Call you.
Thank you for having me on, V. I just heard like the countdown of the seconds. I can still stay on for a bit though.
That's right. Wake me up. I'm still asleep, family. I haven't been to sleep. Okay.
Yay. Rest is best, girl. In La Cash. Good hearing from you, Mama AZ.
Yeah, she's you asked how she's doing. She's in the heavenly place right now, surrounded by plants and food.
Yeah. I was just munching on some holy basil.
Yeah.
It's so good. Holy basil is one of those adaptogen herbs that will go where your body needs it to go. If you're tired and exhausted, it'll put you to sleep. But if you're at the beginning of your day and you really need a boost, you really need that energetic jolt, it will give you that too. Just the impulses in the plant. It's holy. It's a basil. It's wonderful.
Holy basil.
Yes, those were the seeds that I let people have yesterday so they can plant their intention.
Yeah.
The sunflower seeds and the holy basil seeds. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go to another caller.
Okay, I'll reach out to you.
Yes.
10
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll reach out to you.
Admiral Nelson Bay is on the line. Go ahead, Admiral Nelson Bay.
Mama AZ, I need to call me. I developed a calendar which I call the Physical Body Calendar, BADI.
Wow.
and it's another one or a variation of that I will call the body fiscal calendar, which is based on Shoghi Effendi's birthday, which is March 1st, 1897. There was a passport found attributed to Shoghi Effendi, which has the beloved guardian of the Baha'i Faith's birthday as March 3rd, 1896. So one of these is going to be for March 1st, 1897. The other is going to be starting at March 3rd, 1896. I have developed a way of identifying people all over the world. The brand name is Universal Basic Income Treasury Direct Account. I've developed this for years. And they are going to be electronic benefits transfer debit cards and over-the-counter debit cards, EBT, OTC. And these cards are going to afford the card holder monetary value. And it's going to be backed by gold. It's going to be collateralized by gold from the Global Debt Facility, which I shall
Admiral Nelson Bay,
in Bangkok, Thailand.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to know more about this? Sounds very interesting. How can they get a hold of you?
They can call me at 773-221-8362.
All right.
That's the only phone number that I use.
Okay.
I've had that number for more than 50 years.
Ooh.
And I'm the only number, and I'm going to eventually get a satellite phone.
Okay. Well, let me go to the next caller because we are running out of time. In fact, we're over time, but that's okay. We want to get this next caller in. 773-690. Your mic is open.
Greetings. This is Rashida. I want to say I'm enjoying the show today, but I want to make an announcement. We're having invitations extended to all vendors for summer activities until September for vendors, and we're having special seminars and live performance, motivational speakers, health seminars, financial literacy seminars, etc. So we would like to invite you to the Black Love Matters 2 event held on West Side Chicago.
Oh, the Shottown.
So if there's any questions, you call me.
Okay.
And or email me at .com. So we're having this Sunday special guest, a ridiculous DJ Mike, tribute to Stevie Wonder with Bobby, tribute to Michael Jackson, Chosen. We're going to like Michael Jackson and perform. And we're going to invite all the vendors there. And we also have a guest speaker, Elder Eric Knowles.
Okay. So
that's what I wanted to say briefly. And everybody's welcome. And if you're a vendor,
the sun's coming out. Oh, so nice.
All right. So for those of you in the Chicago area, contact Rashida. You know her number, 773-690-7947 if you want to participate in that event. We are out of time, but Tawhida, give us a final word for the season. We're this new year. Okay, let's just give out a greeting and words of wisdom for this new year and why we need to look at it as a new year. Let's just say that.
Absolutely. We just experienced a day at a time. So that means we have a new slate and a new year and a new plasma, which is a new fluid day for us to create. Today's signature is Kin 19 actually on the Zolkin, which goes from Kin 1 to Kin 260. We're on 19, like day 19, which is Blue Rhythmic Storm. And that talks about self-love, being your main focus, being your religion, being your purpose, self-love, being the catalytic action, being the magic, being guided, how you show up in the world with all of your elements, wind through the spirit, and the breath, and how you communicate, being that sun of radiance, of enlightenment and universal fire, being that universal water that washes away, purges, and cleanliness. So the elements are actually us. So we're going to be walking with those elements all year long for the next 365 spin. So I would just say that people can kind of start their day off with a prayer, with meditation, and their galactic signature. If they know it, they can always use my phone number or email to call me and get their galactic signatures, and then ultimately be plugged in to what I do and Synchronistic Human as well. That would, which is a school that has classes, ongoing classes, self-study classes where you can enroll and get this information on a daily basis. So yes, indeed. In Lakesh, it has been my honor to interact with you, Miss Mira, Miss 178. What is that? Is that solar mirror? White
Yes,
solar mirror, how you
white
reflect
solar.
order.
Yes, white solar mirror, and I'm working on my
Yeah.
affirmations.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, I got a lot of studying to do. I'm excited because
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always ready to learn new things.
Yeah, listen to my program, enroll in the school, and just work at it every day. Look at the app on your phone every day so that you can track the synchronicities, track your magnificence, and in tracking that, you're tracking the stars, you're tracking what grows on the earth. You're being really, really in tune, on time and in time with divine time, with Mother Nature and your radiance and who you showed up to be.
Yes, yes, yes. And I want to just leave us with this visual. You are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while.
Absolutely.
I found that
Yes.
when I was searching for information. I'm always
Perfecto.
so
Perfecto.
we want to just remember that always as we go. We are the universe, the
Yes.
microcosm of the cosmic order of things. So
Mm-hmm.
I love you, sister. Thank you so
Thank you. Radiate love to you.
whole new
Thank
family
you.
yesterday. So we want
Spread
to
love.
read our and we got to do this again, especially
Yes,
that
anytime.
environment. Oh my
Yep,
goodness.
yep. You send me the link so I can tap in, and I send you some people to interview as well. And yeah, we'll stay connected. Thank you,
Absolutely.
beloved. I'm
Okay.
another yourself in Lakesh.
Thank us. And we want to say goodbye now to our global family.
Yay. Da.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, Dhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, modasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiabonga. Senegal, jaref. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
And to all my yogi friends out there, namaste, satnam, and aloha to all my brothers and sisters in Hawaii. Stand strong, stand strong. Don't give up the battle. Keep the land. That's what we're here to do. And bless your land wherever you are. Shalom.